to the black hole. Sing for my soul.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sunshine on Leyth. As always, if you've been enjoying the save so far, drop a like on the video, that'd be superb. We're into Season 9, and we're going to be starting off today away at Middlesbrough, who were not relegated, of course not. They had a good season last year in places, and then just fell away, as did both us and Blackhaven to boot. So, yeah. Now, obviously, we'll do a rundown of Blackhaven's transfers at the end of the next episode once the window's actually shut, because, again, the usual reasons. However, I think I've actually done most of our business, for once, before the first game of the season, and I'm pretty pleased with this, to be honest. It's been a bit difficult in certain places. It's either been a case of free transfers or loan signings again. There's one signing that we've paid a bit of money for, and I think it's a worthwhile deal, but I think we've done well this summer. The loan signings I think I'm pretty happy with, some of which you would have already seen if you saw the analysis video, so I think we're on the right track. Dave Morton was actually voted Player of the Year, so didn't come down to the average rating, it came down to the Man of the Match awards, and he was the boss. The players also told me I was too ambitious for expecting us to finish mid-table this season, because, we live in hell. Neil Cross also signed a new contract because there was inquiries from West Bromwich Albion about him. So I thought I'd try and sneak in after I'd convinced him to stay to get a new deal. He does have a release clause now, but it's £5 million. So if someone wants to give me £5 million for Neil Cross, they are welcome to him. But without any further ado, we're going to jump straight in to little outs, I guess, and then we'll get into the big boys. So first things first, released players: Ryan Galvin, Ruben Lal, Jacob Wakeling, and Simon Defty. Now, obviously, you'd expect most of these guys to have left, apart from maybe Jacob Wakeling. He's sort of the surprise package here. I don't know if he actually got a new contract or he's still not got a contract, so we could, in theory, go back and offer him one, I suppose. Don't know if I'd want to, but I felt it was the right time. I wasn't sure, but we went for it in the end. Other transfers out: youngster Aaron Christie's joined Port Vale, no big deal. And Connor Teal's also gone out on loan to Gillingham since they were willing to pay his wages. I need to sort this out and put a better one here so it hides the other players. But now it's the ins, and this is where the big stuff starts, as we've signed 10 players in this period. Now, obviously, a couple of them you'll recognise. First up, though, is Aaron Macdonald, a Scottish left-back who we picked up from Hamilton, I believe on a free transfer. Reasonable physical attributes at the age of 17. Decent enough tackling, good work rate, good leadership, good decision-making. He is a wing-back, but doesn't really have great technical abilities. But as we sort of looked at in the analysis video, that might not be the end of the world. So for free, and on those kinds of wages, 3-year deal, couldn't really be more pleased with Aaron Macdonald to come on a free transfer. He is under a bid for a loan spell at the moment, which I'm tempted to do because he's a bit down the pecking order here. Then it's John Richardson, obviously permanent deal now, 3-year contract, £800 a week. That ain't bad really when you think about it. It's cost us £80,000 in total, but that's over 3 years. So we were able to spread the deal around a little bit. Obviously, we've got him working on certain parts of his game to really try and improve things, but I think he played so well last year, it would be a shame if he wasn't back for another season. So yeah, his 3rd season at the club. This time he's permanent. He's going to be here for 5 years. I don't know if he'll maybe be fantastic for all those 5 years, but I like what I saw from him, and sometimes you just got to go with your gut. Then there's Daniel Jones, a 6'6" centre-back from Manchester City on a free transfer. 11 heading, 12 marking, 12 tackling. Now, he's got the height, which is kind of what I wanted. He was rated a bit higher than this, although, to be fair, when he first came in, this star rating was like down here, so he has at least improved in the right directions. And there's a lot of things I like about him. He's not got consistency problems. He doesn't appear to have injury problems. So I think that's reasonable enough. He does have low determination, which is, again, one of those things you just have to accept when you're signing players on frees from Premier League sides. Sometimes you just got to take what you can get at this point. Then there's also Kyle Lee, or Kylie, as I'm going to call him. Now, he is completely out of position for us, really. I'm retraining him to play as a defensive midfielder because I want to see if we can actually move a guy like this further back and actually, because he's so young, get him to work on the technicals. Like, he's already got fantastic technicals. Like, with that, 14 passing, 14 vision, 15 technique, decent stuff across the board, great long shots, great first touch, a lot of things that I don't think would need to change that much to be a solid player. However, because we don't play one, the opportunity to sign this guy came up and I couldn't really turn it down. I want to see if we can move this guy back and basically make him into the register. Next up is one of the only other signing that actually cost me any money. This is Matthew Birch Mcnaught. You may have, again, if you saw the analysis video, saw me have a little look at this guy from Oxford, because he had put in some insane tackle numbers, considering. Now, one of the things we also used to do so well with Putman Catley was have high tackles per game numbers out of our wingers, and we haven't really seen any of that since from him, or from anyone really in that position. So when the opportunity came along to get someone who had a track record of that with kind of what I wanted, good work rate, great aggression, decent physicals, really. He's not the fast, he's quite fast, but he doesn't have that raw pace off the line, but he's great in the air, or rather has aerial presence, which is very, very useful. Mostly on the pro side of things. Okay, so he's not happy with training right now, but we'll take a little look at that in a bit. I like him. I like him a lot. Next up is Jack Catley, who I was looking at as a loan signing last year, and eventually we went with the guy from Swansea instead. And I noticed that his contract was up at the end of the season, so we brought him in on a free transfer to give us a bit more depth on that side. Obviously, we did get Thornley back on loan and Josh Parry as well, so they're both back as well. So he might be playing underneath Thornley, not entirely sure. But again, he does the simple things right. Technically, in terms of the defensive stuff, that seems to be what you really want out of our... It seems that we want our centre-backs to have amazing aerial ability and our full-backs to be really good at the defensive basics and not really so bothered about their technicals going forward. He's tall as well, which means he could technically play as a centre-back too. It's a very similar story for Max McCoy. Great name, by the way. Released by Southampton. Now, again, he's still not perhaps the guy I wanted in this role. But he is at least a natural ball-winning midfielder that can sit in that position. I think he's like Jed Vernon plus. He's even on less money. They were really willing to take low money this time around, and I'm not entirely sure why. I didn't even have to put clauses in most of their contracts. He's got like an international wage clause, but it's only of like £900. So I don't know. It's a strange one. Then we also signed on a permanent deal Mohamed Moulay Idris, £900 a week, which is not bad, really. He had to take a slight wage cut to come here, but he's been on loan every single season. And I thought, you know what, he deserves to come back and have another crack at things. But if he does play this season, he will be playing as the regista. Now, the one problem he's got as a regista is the lack of flair, which is what I really do think holds him back from playing that role permanently or perfectly. But that's also why I think we might be able to change Catley to being a regista. But you might be thinking, there's two areas of this team that we needed to strengthen in the summer: striker and goalkeeper. I had my scouts looking through the entire period specifically for pressing forwards and a sweeper keeper with defensive strategies. And I could basically find no goalkeepers. So in the end, I basically had to dip into the loan market for both positions. Now, I did find a guy that was the perfect striker for us. His name is Spencer Doyle. Last year, he was on loan at Charlton. I think he scored against us, in fact. He was the perfect pressing forward. But annoyingly, they wouldn't let us have him on loan. Which is frustrating. They basically, you know, the high quality player nonsense. He was from Spurs, but Spurs would not let us have him, unfortunately. I tried everything I could not get him, but I did have a backup in mind, and that's who I've signed. This is he. This is Franz Sullivan. He is a pressing forward on attack. Now, he doesn't quite have the work rate that Curtis Thomas did. And again, he doesn't quite have the pace. But there's a lot of things I like about this guy. The fact that he's got 13 pace and 14 acceleration while being 6'7" is utterly mental. He's on loan from Bristol City. We're paying £3,700 a week to bring this guy in, but I felt it was worth it. Spencer Doyle was the first choice, but when that one clearly wasn't going to happen, I went for Franz Sullivan instead. He's got fantastic technicals. Dribbling is brilliant. Finishing is 13, which is not bad. First touch, not fantastic. Great on free kicks too. Bravery, not amazing. He's not fantastic in some areas here, but I do think he'll do a job for us this year, and I'm really hoping that being 6'7" is just going to give us a totally different option. Because one of the things that Thomas did so well was flicking the ball on to his strike partner, and I want to see if Sullivan can do that. And lastly, we needed a goalkeeper, and once again we had to dip into the loan market, but I do think we've got the job done. Because this is Russell Griggs. He's on loan from Manchester City, 4.1k a week. We're also paying a little extra on top just to get the deal done. Now, he's 6'2", has excellent goalkeeping, basically. I'm tempted to move away from a sweeper keeper onto just standard goalkeeper on defend, because this guy is not the quickest, really, and he does have, he lacks the composure sometimes. So there is that as an issue for us. But he was the best we could do, basically. I just looked at who was available on loan, scouted them, and he was the best one that really came up for us. So I thought, you know what? If we can't get results with a goalkeeper of this kind of quality, then I really just think that it's one of those things where it's just FM and goalkeepers. If this guy can't be a success for us, then I really don't know who will be able to. So we'll really have to see how well Russell Griggs can do. I almost for a second thought he was called Will Griggs, which would have been even better. But, Russell Griggs is on fire. So all in all, I think we've had a pretty positive window, strengthened where we needed to, spent quite a fair amount of our wage budget, but, not blown the bank on too many large signings, unlike Blackhaven, who have signed a player for £7 million already. So today, we play against Middlesbrough. Simon Grayson's Middlesbrough. Now, obviously, Charlton won the playoff final too, so I expect they'll try and get Spencer Doyle back on loan from Spurs as well. That might have been part of the problem for us, because he was on loan there at the time. So, we'll do collection advice, though I think I already did it when I was setting things up for this. So, Sullivan and Cross up front. Oh, right. So what do we do on the right here? Birch Mcnaught is still obviously working on that side. For some reason, Ben Johnson took a hit over the summer. Not entirely sure why, but it said that he dropped in quality, even though he had one of the best seasons of his career. So, don't know what happened with that one. Franz Sullivan's obviously only just joined us, so he's going to take a little while to get used to things, as is Grigg. At the back, Knight and Parry, of course. Thornley, but again, we've got options behind him in terms of Catley. Nevitt on the left-hand side with Morton, but part of me wants to start Ibrahim Ajay there. Now, as for this position, this is very much a case of we're not be able to play one of the other. We have to play someone like a McCoy in there to really get the best out of Richardson, I feel like. And that's definitely going to be the way forward for us. With Knight and Parry at the back line. Hopefully, if we can just be as strong from defending set pieces as we were for the second part of last season, then I really do think that we've got the firepower up front this year to take things to the next level. I think this is a really good team we've assembled, and I can't wait to see what they're capable of. Yeah, so that's going to be the bench. Vernon, Catley, Idris, Bruce, Aline, Johnson, and Harney. So we've basically got someone for every position, with the exception of a striker at the moment. But hey, what can you do? A 4-4-2 for them as well. It's probably the happiest I've been with the transfer window. The only way I could be happier is if there was less loan signings. But I feel like we're in that point now where in order to make that bridge up to be a championship club, we're probably going to need to get some of these loan signings in. Get a little bit more of the league table on show this time around. That way it's a bit more obvious. So, I want to see what Sullivan's capable of. I want to see what McCoy's like. There's lots of new players in the team. Still a lot of the old faces too. But I want to see what Birch Mcnaught's like as well. Ball across straight away. We've got additional height as well. The ability to find Sullivan is going to be super duper important. Now, I'm tempted to leave him back to defend corners as well, because he's got that additional height that could really help us too. So, I'm not sure. Thornley to Richardson. I want to see if he can, stay for it for a little bit. Neil Cross is already through and he can't get the... We may not have scored early on. Go on. Sullivan also takes corners because he's the best corner taker on the team, and it's tipped over from Josh Parry there. Despite him being excellent in the air, he also has a hell of a set piece on him. So expect him to score a few from direct free kicks this season, as well as Knight McCoy with the strike at Ward. Nice work, lads. Uh-oh, right. This will test you. Wing. Oh. Duh. 16 minutes into the first game of the season, and it's back again. I mean, where is Josh Parry running to? Where is he? Like, what possible instruction would there be for him to be running there and leaving Jack Watmore completely unmarked? Mental. I mean, that could just be complete coincidence. Because it'd be weird if all of a sudden we just started not being able to defend them again, despite using the exact same personnel virtually in the exact same positions. But we'll see. Right there, Middlesbrough really pushed up here, but that could definitely benefit us in the right way. Morton, he's got to find the right pass though, that's the key. He's gonna, he could find it here though. Can he dink it up? Sullivan gets his head on it, but it's just wide. But those are the sort of chances we would not have even been able to contemplate last season. Seriously? Seriously? You just, I don't know. Is that a sign of things to come this year for us? Spring gets ball in again. Penalty? Wow. I don't know. Some of the things that get given in this game. It's a great save from Griggs. And on the rematch, okay, right, okay, so we look like we've got a goalkeeper now. That is two incredible saves there from Griggs. This is looking like it's going to be a very disappointing... I mean, honestly, Middlesbrough could have had more goals in this game, in fairness. It's not been our finest hour, considering how well we played against Middlesbrough last year, in fact. Knight, looking long for cross. Flicks it down the side for Joe Bruce. Okay, that's better. Brucey's got it. Can he give us a Brucey bonus? Dinks one it. He's going to shoot a goal, isn't he? Cross! And it's a... Wow, how on earth? Oh, was that Danny Ward? But what I would say is our goalkeeper has looked so much better than... Like, okay, we conceded too many chances today. Fair enough. But at least our goalkeeper looks like he's likely to keep them out. I mean, they've had 7 clear-cut chances against us. This is one of the worst performances I've seen from us for ages. And maybe we just need players to settle in and stuff like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. If it's a pattern, then obviously it starts to get a bit more worrying. Richardson, why would you wait so long to play the ball? He has such that place, that option on the wing is so oh. I don't know. Like, Richardson's driving forward. He's quite clearly got the space out wide to play that pass. And then he just waits and waits and waits. And then, yeah. Oh, dear. And now Robert Hammond has now made it 2-0 to Middlesbrough. I think keeper could have maybe done a bit better there, but we can hardly hold that against him, given the number of good saves. Like, how is that battle being lost there by Kai Knight? You have got about 2 foot on him. Oh, dear, Kai. Knight knocks it down for Neil Cross. Got runners left and right, sort of. Finds Johnson. Johnson knocks it around the side for Dave Morton. Cleared away. Keep that pressure on. Richardson. Use the overlap from Ajay. Round the side for Joe Bruce. Can he dink it? Cross. Cross again. Bruce. Morton. Oh, ho, ho, ho. I'm amazed we haven't scored a goal in this match. That does shock me. But I'm also amazed that Middlesbrough haven't scored more, in fairness. They've had 8 chances, so have we. But they've had a higher quality of opportunity, to be fair. That is undeniable. Oh, good, we're going to get us... Just to add it onto the list, boys. Add it on. Lovely old job. I think someone's bingo card must surely be complete now. Bumber. Round the side for Hammond. Great save again. I mean, 8 clear-cut chances against us in one game. Wow. That's dreadful. Very out of character for us too. Literally the only positive things to take from this are goalkeeper had an excellent game. In spite of that, could have been so much more without him. With Idahood in goal, this would have been 7-0. And Richardson did still play very, very well. We still created a ton of chances and didn't score 8 chances and didn't score a single goal. At least they scored a couple of goals. They had 9 chances too, actually. Okay, he's not going to miss too much time, which should be very, very important for us. Okay, so the worst possible start to the season, basically. Frustrating times. I might... For the next episode, obviously we're going to come back and do Sunderland straight away. Doesn't get any easier for us, does it? Christ. And then obviously we'll finish off probably with Stevenage or Blackpool, not entirely sure. So, if you've enjoyed this episode and you're looking forward to the season, I still don't think that we're actually going to do badly, but that is a very bad performance in general. Hopefully once players get bedded in, get their match fitness up a little bit, and everybody settles in, we'll hopefully be able to be a bit more competent. So if you've enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have, drop a like, that'd be sensational. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, that'd be gorgeous as well. I stream on Twitch on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and usually Sundays as well, so go follow over there too, and I'll see you guys very, very soon for some more of this. So, yes, hold your gun, capybara. Bye-bye.